as to how I wound up being here today. While I was on Heroes, I had the extraordinary pleasure of working with a new young actor. I actually wrote the episode where a shadowy figure first appeared and was referred to by the FBI by the name of Silent. It was an extraordinarily gutsy move because it was really gutsy. Because up to that point, we actually had not cast the role, and so there were a lot of discussions as to who he was going to be, whether or not he was going to be 10 feet tall and have fangs, or whether or not he was going to be dwarf. And then we saw all kinds of actors, and then Zach walked in, and that was the end of the conversation. Embodied everything that we wanted to in terms of both humanity and civility. He's an extraordinarily gifted actor and a very, very good friend. And so I got to be part of watching him grow into the person that you all know and scream about. And sometime along that way, probably in the middle of the night when some poor young actress had her throat slit and there was blood everywhere, except it was ketchup and she was not really dead. Zach took me aside and said, "So I'm thinking about getting into the graphic novel business, what do you think?" And I explained to him all the hundreds of reasons why that's a bad idea. And just, I think everyone here actually knows that if you don't work at one of the bigs and you're not, doing something that wears a cape or turns red, then it's very hard to be an independent comic book publisher in this market. And because Zach is the sort of person that he is, he basically went, "Watch me do it." And so, after a very short amount of time, I was delighted to find out that they had formed a company which is called Before the Door Pictures. And I'm now going to turn it over a little bit to Zach and Corey and Neil. And the first thing I want to ask, because I know it's in everybody's mind, what is Before the Door Pictures? And that's kind of an unusual name.
It is,
Corey.
yeah. Thanks for that. Before we go any further, if you're dressed like a green girl, could you just stand up? Yeah.
She-Hulk could be here too.
Hang on. No, there's another one over here.
You want to stand up though? I just want to see if there's more than two, because I saw two right here, but there's no more behind them. Good job, you guys. Thank you. That was fun. All right, real quickly, seriously, because I'm here not really as me, but really as a conduit for people who are much more talented than I am. First of all, Before the Door is a company that I started with my two very good friends, Corey Musa, Neil Dodson. The three of us went to college together, and Neil and I have known each other since we were like 15. That would be about half my life. And so we decided that we wanted to, in conjunction with all the opportunity that was going to present itself to me as an actor and in the industry, we wanted to have a framework so that we could tell our own stories. And we come from a shared creative history, obviously having gone to college together and learning how to be actors together. It was really exciting for us to form this company, and so when we formed the company, we wanted to gain traction in as many different sort of media areas as possible. So we started working on internet stuff and television and film, like typical development, and we'll have a lot more to talk about with that stuff down the line as a company. But graphic novels and comic books was something that drew all of our interest and attention. Obviously, the work that I've done as an actor has lent itself to that world and to this fan base, which has been really incredible for me, and I've learned a lot. And I would like to take the chance to just say thank you guys so much for being so supportive of all the work that I've been a part of in the past. It really means a lot to me. I really, really appreciate it. And so I've learned a lot about comic books. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I've loved them all my life. It wasn't really a big part of my upbringing, but as I've been drawn deeper into the world and gotten to know people as successful and talented as Mr. Loeb and others, it's been really interesting for me to see the ways in which storytelling can unfold in that particular space. So from that point, we aligned ourselves with two other people that we also went to school with, and those guys are sitting to my right, Michael McMillan and Victor Kinoj. There's about 5 of us, all of whom have known each other for over 12, 13 years, and these guys, Michael's been a lifelong comic book fan, Victor a comic book fan all his life, and just a fan of movies and a fan of things that are really inspiring and intelligent like he is. And we started talking about stories and these things started to evolve, and they started to take shape, and we started to help them, and they're bringing amazing ideas to the table. And then we started meeting with publishers and comic book companies, and maybe it was somewhere along there when I talked to Jeff about some advice, and he tried to take me out of the knees, and I wouldn't be stopped. And then we went back and took more meetings, and finally we met these guys, Stephen and Mel and the guys at Archaia, and felt really like this is a company that understands where we're coming from and the kinds of stories we want to tell. And so we started working in conjunction with them on these two specific ideas, and a third one to come later. I'm tired of hearing myself talk. What?
Yeah,
You're not?
keep going.
You will be soon.
Zach, why don't we hand it off a little bit right now and have Michael talk about his book and what it's called, and then we'll let Victor talk about his book and what it's called. All right, let's switch the order.
Yeah, maybe we'll switch the order. Maybe because Mr. Murder is Dead, which is this. Victor, hold it up. This is the first property that we're talking about. So Victor will discuss it.
We should mention too, by the way, that beautiful poster you see right there. All of you guys are getting one for free for attending. Exclusive, no one else has it, so eBay right after the show.